Mia was a kind soul, always putting others first. She spent countless hours volunteering at local shelters, organizing community events, and lending a helping hand to anyone in need. Her smile was a beacon of hope for many, and her presence brought comfort to those around her. Yet she carried a heavy burden, a persistent shadow of self-doubt. Despite her outward kindness, Mia struggled internally. The weight of her insecurities was a constant companion, lurking in the background of her mind. It whispered insidious things, making her question her every move. Every decision, every action was second-guessed. The voice in her head was relentless, planting seeds of doubt that grew into towering obstacles. "You're not good enough," it hissed. "You'll never succeed." These words echoed in her mind, amplifying her fears and magnifying her perceived flaws. These negative thoughts haunted her. They invaded her dreams, turning peaceful nights into restless battles. During the day, they followed her like a shadow, casting a pall over her every interaction. They followed her like a dark cloud, obscuring the sunshine in her life. No matter how bright the day, the cloud of doubt loomed large, blocking out the light and warmth she so desperately needed. Fear and anxiety became unwelcome companions, their grip tightening with each passing day. Social situations became daunting, and even simple tasks felt overwhelming. The once vibrant and confident Mia was now a shadow of her former self. Mia longed to break free from this vicious cycle, to silence the relentless voice that held her captive. She yearned for a life where she could embrace her true self, free from the chains of doubt and fear. Little did she know her journey to self-acceptance was about to take an unexpected turn, a chance encounter, a new perspective, or perhaps a moment of clarity. Something was on the horizon that would change everything. The constant barrage of negativity began to affect every aspect of Mia's life. It was as if a dark cloud had settled over her, casting a shadow on everything she did. The weight of whispers, both real and imagined, pressed down on her shoulders, making it hard to breathe. Simple tasks felt insurmountable, her once bright spirit dimming with each passing moment. The dishes piled up, the laundry remained undone, and even getting out of bed felt like a Herculean effort. Her energy was sapped, and her motivation was nowhere to be found. She withdrew from friends and family, their laughter a painful reminder of the joy she struggled to feel. Invitations to social gatherings were declined, and phone calls went unanswered. Mia felt like an outsider in her own life, watching from the sidelines as everyone else seemed to move forward. Work became a chore, each project a monumental task. Deadlines loomed like dark clouds, and the once stimulating challenges now felt like insurmountable obstacles. Her productivity plummeted, and she feared her colleagues would notice her decline. Mia doubted her abilities, convinced she would fail. The mirror reflected a version of herself she barely recognized, one filled with uncertainty and fear. She questioned every decision, every action, and every thought, trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. The shadow thrived on her insecurity, growing stronger with every negative thought. It whispered in her ear, feeding her fears and amplifying her anxieties. The more she tried to fight it, the more powerful it became, wrapping itself around her like a suffocating shroud. One particularly difficult day, overwhelmed by the weight of her own mind, Mia decided to take a walk in the woods. She hoped the fresh air and the sounds of nature would provide some relief, a brief escape from the turmoil within. She yearned for peace, for a moment's respite from the relentless negativity that consumed her. Sitting on a rock surrounded by the towering trees, she took a deep breath, trying to find a sense of calm. The forest felt like a sanctuary, a place where she could momentarily forget her troubles. Little did she know, the woods held a surprise, a chance encounter that would change everything. As she walked deeper into the forest, she met a stranger who seemed to radiate warmth and understanding. This unexpected meeting would become a turning point, offering Mia a glimmer of hope and a path towards healing. The woods were her sanctuary, a place of quiet solace. Here, amidst the towering trees and the whispering leaves, Mia found a refuge from the chaos of the world. The forest was alive with the sounds of nature, a symphony of rustling leaves, chirping birds, and the distant murmur of a stream. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, dappling the forest floor in a mosaic of light and shadow. Each step she took was a step deeper into her own thoughts, the worries of the day melting away with every ray of light that touched her skin. As she walked, Mia noticed a faint glow in the distance. It was subtle at first, just a glimmer that caught the corner of her eye. But as she continued, the light grew stronger, more inviting, almost as if it were calling out to her. Curiosity piqued. She followed the light, her footsteps crunching on fallen leaves. The path seemed to guide her, each turn and twist leading her closer to the source of the mysterious glow. There, nestled amongst the trees, stood a small abandoned cabin. It looked as though it had been forgotten by time, yet it held a certain charm, a promise of stories untold. Its wooden walls were weathered with time, yet it emanated an undeniable aura of peace. The soft light that surrounded it seemed to wrap the cabin in a gentle embrace, inviting Mia to explore further. Drawn by an invisible force, Mia stepped inside. The door creaked open, revealing a world that had been untouched for years. The interior was simple, almost bare. A few pieces of old furniture, a dusty table, and a couple of chairs were all that remained. Dust motes danced in the faint sunlight streaming through a crack in the wall. The air was thick with the scent of aged wood and forgotten memories. And then she saw it. An ornate, full-length mirror propped against the far wall. It beckoned her closer. The mirror's frame was intricately carved, depicting scenes of nature and mythical creatures. It seemed out of place in the otherwise humble cabin, yet it felt like it belonged there, waiting for her. As Mia stood before the mirror, she was taken aback by what she saw. It wasn't her reflection staring back, but a shadowy figure, the embodiment of all her doubts and fears. Its eyes burned with a menacing glow, reflecting the darkness she carried within. Fear threatened to consume her, but something within Mia ignited, a spark of defiance. For the first time, she confronted the source of her pain, the voice that had haunted her for so long. "I am tired of you," she whispered, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and determination. "You have no power over me.